Okay. So for those of you that follow this, so just recently got a new laptop. So no more videos from the phone. Thank God. Sit a little more comfortably, talk to y'all. In the next 24 or 48 hours, I will be starting my live streaming. Since the last video I uploaded, lots happened. I'm glad to see that so many Americans have woken up and realized Donald Trump is not the answer to this country. And let's face it, his campaign slogan was full of shit anyway. Kept talking about wanting to make America great again, and that's all fine and dandy. America, for what it's worth, is a great country, but America, let's face it, has never really been great. I don't think we'll ever be able to consider ourselves a great country until we can get rid of issues like police brutality, the overuse of police force when subduing suspects, racial profiling within law enforcement, and most importantly, the social injustice of racism. Now, again, I don't understand racism. It just doesn't make sense to me why somebody could hate somebody for the color of their skin. I mean, it'd be like me hating anybody for the shirt they're wearing or the fact that they're not wearing Nikes. I mean, if you think about it, it's laughable at best. Now, I'm not saying Joe Biden again. I'm not going to say Joe Biden would be the perfect choice. I don't really think any true politician really is, but I've been recently reminded that a lot of politicians, and the good ones anyway, if there are any, and I got to believe that there are some, they don't start out as politicians, really. Not at all. Some of them really honestly start out trying to do good for this country. So, tell me about... if they're running for president, they try to do good for the country. If they're running for a Senate or Congress position, again, they're trying to do right by their country or their state or whatever that they're representing. And that goes all the way down to, like, mayors and city councilmen and governors and, politicians in general. Broad stroked. But yeah, I as somebody who truly believes that not every officer, not every law enforcement officer, not everybody that wears that badge goes in it to power trip or do the things that we've seen cops do. I honestly believe that there is a vast majority of law enforcement officers, people that wear that badge, that when they take that oath to serve and protect their community, I'd like to think and believe that there are cops, and the only reason I can is because I've met them. That their definition of serving and protecting their communities, or however they've been sworn in to protect, whether it's a local law enforcement, all the way up to the federal level, you still take an oath to serve and protect. And that has to also include, like I said in the previous one, to serve and protect your communities against those officers that would abuse that badge and make the ones that are out there that became law enforcement officers or went into law enforcement to do good. It kind of makes their job a joke. It makes them a joke if they don't testify or don't report these officers. And I know there's been this, especially with actual police officers. Now, I'm specifically talking below government level, okay? I am talking about anybody that works for police department, sheriff's department, anywhere in this country. I know firsthand that there is a unspoken kind of like invisible line called the blue line, and that as a cop, that's something that you're told not to cross. And I'll be honest, most cops, not while they're in, basic law enforcement training, if they go through that, or if they're in a state that has, or county that has a police academy. It's not something that your instructor says, hey, there's this invisible line called the blue line, and you don't ever go against your brothers and sisters in blue. Honestly, I don't even know where the hell the blue line got started. I think that's one of the problems with law enforcement. You can't go through a basic law enforcement training program and then become a cop, or go through some kind of police training in order to be a cop, police academy, basic law enforcement, whatever. However you get into that position, you really shouldn't protect anybody from breaking the law. I mean, nobody should be above the law. Not the president, not the vice president, not anybody in the Supreme Court, not anybody that has a Senate seat, not anybody that has a Congress seat, not a mayor, not a councilman, not a governor. Certainly not a fucking cop. At the end of the day, you take away the title. Whether your title is police officer or sheriff or deputy U.S. Marshal or FBI agent or CIA agent. And I'm going to throw the CIA in there, yes, because they're law enforcement of sorts. And I think we all know throughout history, I mean, if you're educated, they play by their own rules. But again, we shouldn't be playing by our own rules. Because that's, in essence, pretending to be God or playing God, and none of us are the divine. And if you think you are, I hate to break it to you, but you're not. However, nobody is above the law. Nobody is exempt. If I'm wearing a badge and I take down a suspect because they're breaking the law, or it's perceived that they are breaking the law, then I'm not above the law. I have laws. There are laws that even cops should have to follow. And one of those is knowing where the line in excessive force is. The blue line myself, for me personally, I think it's something that needs to be done away with. Now, I will not sit here and say that there was a time in this country that maybe we needed it, because I refuse to believe there was ever a time, any time in this country where we needed the blue line. I don't even know where the hell it got started, honestly. And if I had to hazard a guess, it was probably started by those that abuse the system. But having said that, this country, my fellow Americans, some of us have gotten too sensitive to I ain't no better word. This country has become very sensitive. I don't know at what point we've become so sensitive, but we need to desensitize ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about for a few minutes. I'm hoping, like I said, in the next 24, 48 hours, my streaming, everything will be set up, and we can do this in more depth, but we, for lack of better terms, have become a very weak, whimpering, sensitive country. I mean, the fact that so many people in this country, we're going to touch on this shit again, and it's probably going to be a subject of a lot of videos. The proof is there. I mean, if you look around, watch the news, read a newspaper, okay? If we're destroying monuments and statues and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because... No, let me back up. If we're destroying Confederate monuments and such because of a time period that it represents, just like the Christian Bible, the Muslim Quran, everything in this world is open to human interpretation. And as humans, we're not perfect, and it's those imperfections that take things and twist them, take objects and twist them to mean something negative. It's an object. It has no good or no evil intent. It's just an object, like the computer sitting in front of me. Okay? It's an object. It has no soul. It has no heart. It has no brain. It doesn't think for itself. It doesn't make decisions for itself. And most importantly, objects have no free will. It's the user or the person's intent behind that object that makes that object good or bad. Now, I won't sit here and try to pretend that I have all the answers or know exactly why Confederate monuments were created and erected when they were first put up. All I know is it's a piece of history, and it's just an item. It's a statue. It's made out of stone or steel or both. Okay? Again, it's people that give objects good or evil intentions. And as a good friend of mine pointed out on a Facebook Live a few months ago, I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and there's if you're not from here, if you've never been here, there's a historical building in downtown. It's called the Market House. Okay, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat shit and any of that, because if anybody watches my videos enough, they know I don't really sugarcoat anything. I speak my mind. But anyway, it was used hundreds of years ago for slave trade, but that's the problem in itself with the fact that after George Floyd passed, because of the actions of a few disgraceful officers, I use that term very, very loosely, and if somehow any of my videos make it to them, just know that you guys broke the law, and whatever justice you receive, whether it be by man or by karma itself, just know that you deserve it. You took a man out of this world that had so much left to do. I'm a firm believer that there are people in this world that this world truly needs to have in it. And he was one of those people. But anyway, I'm going off here.
Do you have an address for this human directional?
Objects, man. It's an object. And like my friend Lily pointed out about the Market House. I've lived in this state for over 20 years. I moved down here when I finished junior high, started high school, finished high school down here, and he made a good point. And if there's anybody from the area that sees this, go ahead and comment if you want. Let me know, because I honestly can't remember the last time I myself or any parent, I don't think any parent I know that can honestly say that they themselves, that they went to school around here or their kids going to school, have ever taken a field trip to this place. Okay? And all I've heard for 20 years since I moved down here is the Market House was used to move and sell slaves. The Market House was used to move and sell slaves. The Market House was used to move and sell slaves. And people, that's the problem. And I think that's one of the minor reasons why everybody in this country has gotten so sensitive. We have stopped educating ourselves. At some fucking point, we leave school, whether we get done. It doesn't matter what point or what grade we stop going to school. It's like we stop going to school, we stop learning, we stop educating ourselves. And I know it's a cliche saying, but education leads to knowledge, and knowledge leads to power, and knowledge is power.
Your friend Kalani is in trouble.
As I said on the last video, when the subject was all about the election, we need to educate ourselves. We need to take back our power. And that goes for every single human being. I don't give a shit what color you are. Like I said last time, I wasn't raised to see color in people. I mean, the blue in the sky is nice, yeah, like color makes life interesting. I mean, to be so petty, to lose our temper, to act out, to become violent towards people that want to be ignorant, and have no interest in changing themselves for the better. To those people, I say fuck you and fuck them. To those people, I say fuck you. You're missing out on life. You're not truly living life. And to those of you that allow these people to get under your skin, look, man, I don't want to end up possibly facing any kind of copyright infringement laws or anything, but I'm a big fan of the comedian George Lopez, and he has this saying, FTP, and if you've seen it, then you've seen his comedy specials and you know what that means. But for those of you that don't, it's fuck those putos, and that basically means fuck those bitches, okay? They don't mean anything. To allow those type of people to have any kind of power over your life, again, you're not truly living your life, are you? You're living your life for them or by their way. My dad once told me, as long as you live for somebody else, or you live your life according to their rules and what they want for you, you're not truly living. Now, I'm not saying that rules aren't important. Rules are very important in society, such as laws. And again, back to this. Nobody's above the law, man. I beg, and I'm hoping I can reach anybody, especially in law enforcement. In order for anything to change in law enforcement, we need to do away with the blue line. We need to realize that there are cops amongst cops that are just as bad as those people that we put in jail for breaking the law. But to turn the other cheek just because you wear the same uniform? Let me tell you something. I've worn a lot of uniforms in my day. I won't go into great detail, but I've worked for companies like Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. I've worked at gas stations. I've worked in a lot of places. And I'll tell you this. I don't give a shit how uncomfortable my fucking work environment becomes. If I see somebody on the job doing something that they know they're not supposed to be fucking doing, I'm gonna say something. Because it's the right thing to do. If you're doing wrong and you see somebody doing wrong, the right thing to do is to turn them in. You fuck all that snitches get stitches and shit, okay? Yeah.
Hands on your head.
And nobody's above the law, man. It's very stupid. And when the hell did grown-ass adults become such fucking babies I mean, think about it. Y'all that are out there getting fucking mad over statues and monuments and all of that bullshit, you're fucking children. You're having a goddamn temper tantrum by tearing these fucking things down. Do something else with it instead. Go fucking educate the kids in your goddamn communities. Use that as a teaching fucking tool. Again, it's an object. It's people that make it good or bad. So instead of villainizing it and having them torn the hell down, find a way to make it a good thing. Okay? Take the kids in your local community to these places and say, hey, look, you know, there was this time in our country where we fought ourselves, you know, over the right to own other people. You know, don't make it a fucking race thing. God, for the love of fucking God. That's the one goddamn thing I did hate in fucking school. Whenever we did talk about the Civil War, it was a race thing. It was a fucking color thing. And that's fine because, you know, unfortunately, again, people at some point stop educating themselves. They figure there's nobody, I'm not in school anymore. There's nobody here to tell me I need to, you know, to teach me this, teach me that. You at some point become your own teacher, your own professor. You have to educate yourself. Now, this wouldn't be called the truth bomb if I didn't drop some knowledge on y'all. So here comes the knowledge part. 1, stop making everything about fucking color. Okay? Especially slavery. Let me tell you something. Jews were the slaves of the Egyptians. Alright? All the way back to biblical time there were slaves. Alright? But you have to realize, fast forward a few thousand years, Jewish people don't look completely like they used to anymore, now do they? No. But again, you know, I've met a lot of them, and none of them try to fucking use it none of them try to fucking use it for anything. Alright? Go back a little bit further during the medieval times, you know, when England was in power, when England was literally trying to take over the entire. Oh, you know what? Before I go back there, fast forward from biblical times to let's say time era of Alexander the Great.
That is obvious.
Now, again, I didn't live during these times. I only know what I know from research and educating myself. But you had people like Alexander the Great. Hell, look at the 300, for fuck's sake. Have you ever watched the fucking movie? Okay, there is some historical truth to that. Xerxes, just like Alexander the Great, was consumed. Like all fire consumed with owning everything. A lot. So let's give this all. But they had slaves, and they took slaves from every country and continent that they conquered. So, you know, you had slaves of all colors and nationalities, and I'm still trying to figure out where at some fucking point this country decided to, or people in this country, I should say, decided to solely define the word slave as black. And it's not. Okay? So we'll jump to where I had to restart from, medieval times. Again, England, fueled by greed, was pretty much trying to conquer everything. You know, and they had slaves of all colors from all countries. Hell, they enslaved their own people. Come on, man. Oliver Twist. They had workhouses. Okay? Workhouses. Which meant if you were renting a home, you didn't pay your rent. They didn't kick your ass out on the fucking street. No. They'd either send you, your husband, or your children to this workhouse, and you'd basically be a slave there doing manual fucking labor to pay off your debt. So stop using the race card when it comes to the term slavery, please. For the love of God. You know, And here's just the thing. If you're Christian, and there's a vast majority of Christian believers or people out there that believe in God, look, I said it before, man. This world will be boring without color. Think about it. If you ever watched a movie or a television show in black and white, okay, everything looked the fucking same. The couches matched the floor, that matched the chair, that matched the wall, that matched the countertop. The dishes had no fucking color. Hell, the people had no damn color for the most part. But it was boring. Okay. Go and watch Wizard of Oz. Black and white. Alright? Watch it all the way through. Now, black and white is still pretty entertaining, right? But after a while, like if you had to sit there and watch it like every day for a week or two, at some point you'd be like, Jesus Christ, I need some color in my life, right? I don't give a fuck who you are. Alright? And even you racist motherfuckers have to admit that color makes everything interesting. Okay. What the fuck? You guys only color with one goddamn color in a crayon box? You only buy one fucking color of marker? Or paint? I mean, I'd hate to see your fucking coloring books. Like, if everything's all white, there's no blacks, no oranges, no pinks, no purples, no greens, no nothing. No color? Man, think about it. Even racist motherfuckers have to admit that how boring The Wizard of Oz or any movie in black and white is, no matter how entertaining it is. At some point, it gets old. You throw in where they added color to it, when they went back and re-enhanced it with color, so everything pops. And now you get the full immersion, right? The full experience. Now you can tell that the fucking oranges sitting on the goddamn kitchen table are fucking oranges. They don't look just like a fucking round ball, right? Apples look like apples, you know? Without color, life would be fucking boring. Everybody would, and oh my god, racist people. Come on, man. Are you sitting there honestly telling me you can enjoy a world where everybody looks the fucking same? Jesus fucking Christ. I can promise you, if I walked out my door every goddamn day and spent an entire day and spent every day from sunrise to sunset out and about, and everybody fucking looked like me, I'd fucking shoot myself. I promise you. I would fucking put a bullet in my goddamn head. Because it would be fucking boring. The next thing I'm going to reiterate upon, and I believe I mentioned it in my last video, is nobody is really fucking all white or all black or all anything anymore. Through generations upon generations of this country invading that country, or this person marrying that person, or whatever the case may be, we're all blended at this point, man. All of us are fucking blended. And like I said in my last video, on a base genetic level, we're all related. Every single human being on this planet has the same 3 or 4 base genetic codes in their DNA. But I digress. I'm sorry, I ramble. I get things just come and go as sensitivity of this country has gotten ridiculous, man. Y'all have got to stop hating people for how much money they do or don't have, the type of clothes that they wear compared to the type of clothes that you wear, the type of car that they have, the type of car that they don't have, whether they have a job or don't have a job, homeless or not. You know, you gotta stop fucking hating people for the color of their fucking skin, man. It's fucking petty, bruh. It's just... Back in the day, my mom would make some of the best fried pork chops. You know, I'm pretty sure if you were to stand there, and now I'm specifically talking to the white supremacists that might see this, the racists. You motherfuckers, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you honestly, and I mean honestly, stood there and looked at anybody of color opposite from you, face to face, and forced the fact that they are a different color than you out of your fucking head. If you were to get to know them, tablespoons of apple juice, a little Dijon mustard, add a little tang to that. I think you'd find it hard to, find something. If you want to hate them from something other than their color. That's the point I'm getting to. Okay. Sweet, tangy marinade. You get the best of both worlds. It's a little sweet and it's a little tart. I'm gonna mix 2 cloves of garlic. Mom and grandma. This country's gotten too fucking sensitive, especially this new generation. And I can't believe that a generation that grew up on fucking reruns of Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. Hell, fuck those cartoons, man. Well, I'll give you one better. The generation that we're working with now of young people grew up on shows like Rick and Morty, Family Guy, and American Dad. One more thing. Now, I love all 3 of these shows, but let's face it. The stars of the show. Okay. If you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. Family Guy and American Dad, Jesus Christ. You know how many fucking racial jokes are in a goddamn episode a week? And yet, obviously, there is a vast populace out there. So I'm moving the pork chops around. Outside of the rednecks and racist. You know, we're not. I want to say rednecks, racist. Outside of racist people who apparently have no fucking sense of humor whatsoever, unless, it's a joke about something that they hate on. A vast populace enjoys these shows. They find it funny. Of course you do. Because you realize how fucking stupid it is for people to be offended by a fucking word. So any day that you wake up is a blessing. I'm not one of those ones that's going to sit there and say, words don't hurt. Words can hurt. Okay, let's face it. It hurts somebody's feelings or whatever the case may be. Words can hurt. However, their words, they have no power. They have no evil or good intentions, like things, like objects. It's the person saying that word, and then the way they say it, that makes it good or bad or hurtful. But again, words can only be hurtful if you're narrow-minded and closed-minded enough to give these people the power to hurt your feelings. And that's all you're doing. By getting upset every time somebody says the N-word. Or says anything offensive. As soon as you get upset, that's why they fucking say it. It's the same reason a bully picks on a kid. Until you stand up to them, until you make them realize that what they're doing and what they're saying has no power over you. Which means it is not affecting you one bit. Okay? Because she loves her granddaughter so much. Now, for anybody who sees this, please keep in mind, again, I cannot reiterate enough. I was not raised to see the color of skin. Okay? So I'm not a racist. I don't have a fucking racist bone in my body. Matter of fact, I truly do see everybody in life. Whether it's somebody I see on TV, a celebrity I see on TV, watching a show, somebody I've met, somebody I haven't met, it doesn't matter. If it's another human being, I don't see the color of the skin. I know, because I've educated myself, that every human being shares 3 to 4 base genetic codes in their DNA. This is my family, man, and I was not raised to hate my family. But that being said, this is the, how do I say this? This is the portion of this episode, if you want to call it that. That's gonna get, yeah. It's we're about to jump this up a notch. And I don't give a fuck if it offends anybody or not. Like I said, I speak my mind. That's my truth. That's how I live my life, is to speak my mind on shit. So I'm gonna speak my mind on some shit. I myself personally do not like the word nigger. not nigger, not Negro. No. Now, I'll admit, there are times in certain company, again, I'm from up north. I'm from New York, okay? Where damn near every fucking neighborhood you go to is blended nowadays. Even back then. Alright. But again, I in certain companies, if I see a friend of mine and we got that kind of connection, whatever, I might walk up and say, "Yo, my nigga, what's up? What's going on, yo?" But again, it has no racial connotation at all. And I know some of you are out there probably saying, "Well, if you mean it as, hey, my friend, what's up? Why don't you just say, why don't you go to, hey, my friend, what's up?" Okay. I hear you. And I'm not saying you're wrong. That is your truth. That is you living your life by speaking your truth. But words like Negro and nigger. Okay, well, first of all, have you ever looked up the definition of the word nigger? Alright, we're going to do an experiment right here, on camera. Y'all ain't going to believe this shit. Google, what is Webster's definition of the word nigger? Nigger.
These came back from a search.
Okay, I'm just going to Webster's. Hang on one second. Okay, first of all, yes, it is, we all know it's an ethnic slur, it's an offense, it's a very offensive name to call, black people, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson that said anybody can be a nigger because it's more of an attitude than a color. And to that I say he's right. It's not just more of an attitude. It is an attitude. Okay? It's not a color. It's a word. Well, I mean, it's a word that means a color if you think about it. I mean, okay, well, apparently you got to actually buy the Webster Dictionary to even see it. However, all right, I'll put on the teacher's hat here. First of all, the word nigger came from the word Negro, which uneducated motherfuckers, I guess they didn't learn the fact that they're insulting black folk by calling the word Negro when any educated person knows you don't have to be fluent in Spanish, man. Look it up if you don't believe me. But Negro, 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 in Spanish, pronounced negro, it's the color black. Holy shit, who fucking knew, right? Uneducated motherfuckers who get offended by a goddamn word, that's who. Didn't know. Stop getting offended by words, people. Seriously. You give power to those who use them in a negative way when you get offended. They want that reaction out of you. Alright? It's like, I'm into paranormal investigating, okay? And I used to have the means and the equipment, and I used to be one hell of a I don't want to say amateur paranormal investigator, but let's face it, I don't have my own TV show either. But I love investigating the paranormal, right? And if you watch any paranormal investigative shows, okay, when it comes to actual paranormal activity that you can verify within a home or business or what have you, I've been on many cases where, I've talked to people that lived in homes or worked in a business, and they've had proof of the sounds they're hearing. Okay, like not just recorded proof. I'm talking about video recorded proof. So you can see that they sit there and say there's nobody else in the fucking building that could be making this noise, and they're the only one in the building. You can see that. Okay, then you got to go, well, what the hell is it, right? And I know I'm going to get back to topic. Trust me. But after we do that investigation, okay, after we do the interviews and get all the information we need as paranormal investigators, we usually go and do our own investigation without them around, okay? It's just one of the ways that we keep bleeding out, keep it legitimate, So, nobody can say, oh, you were influenced by them. They kept saying it so much, you just started to believe it. And it happens. And this is why most time paranormal investigators, we investigate things on our own at night. If we're doing somebody's house, we don't let them in the house. We keep them out of the house. Or as much as we try to, as much as possible. But anyway, but it's like going into a house or business after you've interviewed people and you've heard what they've heard because they've recorded it, but then you get nothing, right? Sometimes you won't get anything at all. Sometimes you'll get the same shit they're hearing and seeing. And here's why. If you watch supernatural shows, and you've already heard this a million fucking times, if you hadn't, you're going to learn it for the first time here today. Scientific proof. There are several types of hauntings and several types of paranormal. You have what's called a residual haunt. It's basically like watching the same 30 or 40 second clip on loop, all right? It'd be like finding your favorite video on YouTube that's 35 to 45 seconds long and putting it on loop and watching it over and 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 over again, day in, day out, okay? Same thing for them. It's a recording of something that happened a long time ago that just breaks a realm that we don't completely yet understand, but we're getting closer to, or we understand a little bit more than we used to. All right. Then you have what's called intelligent hauntings. Now, these paranormal events, a vast majority of intelligent hauntings, whether they be what we like to call good-natured spirits or evil spirits, good-natured spirits and evil spirits, good-natured spirits and evil-natured spirits, what we commonly refer to as poltergeists, okay? Now, not all poltergeists are truly evil. Some of them are just fucking pranksters. They just like moving things just to fuck with you, okay? But again, in the end, it all comes down to one thing. These noises, things being moved, objects being thrown or knocked over. It's to get attention, okay? And this is the tie-in. If you're a black person and somebody walks up to you and calls you a Negro or a nigger, they're wrong. Let me just put that out there. They're fucking wrong for saying it, first of all. Okay, it's just rude, disrespectful. However, that being said, that word only becomes evil once you let it get into your head, and they know it's gotten into your head because now they have your attention. All right? Because most people, they hear this word, they fucking lose their fucking minds, man. Okay? They start yelling and hollering and threatening. Sometimes they'll actually throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? That's where they get the power from. And no matter how many times they get yelled at no matter how many times you get cussed out, no matter how many fucking times you beat a racist motherfucker's ass, as long as they still keep getting those types of responses from people, they're going to keep doing it. Because they know, even if they're uneducated, somewhere in the recesses of their fucking brain that works logically, it clicks. I have power over this person now. Because every time I walk up and call them this, they fucking lose their shit. So, how do we resolve this? How do we stop being so fucking sensitive? Stop giving people power. Plain and simple. I've been called, and I spent 4 years in a high school here that day in and day out, I was called a cracker. Okay? Or a saltine. Or, I believe it or not, even dealt with a few very racist Hispanics in my school who called me Blanco all the time, which is just the word for white. Opposite of the word negro. Remember? White and black. Okay? The difference is, I did not let it affect me. I gave them no power. How did I do this? They say it, it goes in, it goes out, it doesn't stay here, I keep it pushing. Because at the end of the fucking day, the only person you need to worry about is you. You need to live your best life. And as long as you let somebody who is going to call you a racial slur get under your skin to the point where you say or do something to them, you are not living your best life. You're not even living at that point. Because in that time span that you're either hollering, cussing out, or whooping this motherfucker's ass, guess what? In that short time span, you might have missed something truly fucking amazing about life. Life itself is just a series of moments connected together. The longer you live, okay? It's just a series of events and things that happen. That's what life is. Now, how you live life depends on you. Are you going to be the type of person that spends every day determined to keep your mind and your eyes open for these little moments in life that make life great? Which means you're actually living life. Because you're doing things for you. You're not living by somebody else's. You're not living for somebody else. You're living for you. And living for you means you're looking for those little moments and specks of time throughout the day that make life great. It's almost the same as when I meet somebody who will sit there and say, man, you know why I don't believe in God? Because miracles just don't exist. No. I'm not. This is not the religious portion of this blog, all right? We're not talking about that at this moment in time. I'm going to touch on it for a second, only to prove my point. The problem with people is, again, we've become closed-minded and narrow-minded. We've put blinders on. And, when people hear the word miracle, and when they look for miracles, they're talking about, oh, my fucking 65-year-old granny is really, really sick, and the doctor said she's only got 3 or 4 days to live. So they pray and pray and pray and pray every day. God, please let her live. Please let her live. We just need a miracle here. We need something. And then when that doesn't happen, they go, well, fuck you, God. Well, here's the problem. Okay. I am only saying, I will only say this, that I don't care what religion you are. You have to admit that there's something else there's something in this universe that created everything, okay, that has control of everything, including living and dying, whether you want to refer to it as a god, a deity, a universal higher power, fate, whatever, okay? I truly believe that from the time of our birth, the time of our death, what I like to call our natural death, when we are naturally supposed to die because our time has just come. Okay, I truly believe that, and it's ordained. I mean, I don't say ordained. It's already chosen out. There's nothing you can do. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. Again, otherwise you're not living your life. You're not living your best life because you're not living at all. But when you look for big miracles, like somebody who should not be able to, who doctors are saying are not going to live past this time frame, getting mad and dying because you were looking for a miracle in that moment. The miracle itself was their life. Stop and look around. Okay, perfect example. If it was your mother, your father, a sibling, I don't care. However you knew this person, all right? Death sucks. Not going to fucking lie. However, I do believe it is a natural and very important process to this universe. And I won't go into the reasons why I believe that, because then we're talking about a whole quantum physics thing, and I'm not I'm not getting. There's no way I can dumb this down for people that might watch this. So all I'm saying is, if you truly want to live life, your best life, then you got to tune out the white noise, and that's all that is. When somebody is trying to goad you with insults, or making fun of you, trying to make you the ass of a joke, being racist, it's only you who can stop it. You can give them the power by responding in some form or fashion, and that's all that does, is give them power, because now they've gotten to you. Or you can decide that it's just white noise. It means nothing to you. It has no bearing, and it really doesn't. It has no bearing on how you should live your life or how happy you are in your life. Okay? The minute you give them that, the minute that you make that they know that it has some bearing on the happiness of your life, they have power. And the more people that get offended and upset and angry because of a word, or again, a monument, you're giving this evil, you're giving this person power. Okay? So stop. You want to desensitize the country? Stop. Just stop. Okay? Decide for yourself. And you have to pick a moment in time that you're going to decide for yourself. Do I continue to allow this bully to keep getting to me? Or do I say, you know what? The only person that has any effect on me is me. Because it's truth. They say a word, or you see a monument, and in that split moment, remember those little moments in time I was just talking about? In that split moment, you, as a human being with free will, can either decide that you're going to focus on the negative and the evil intentions of that monument or that word, or you just turn around and walk away from that person, or you use that monument or that statue to teach the younger generation why slavery is wrong, why owning people is wrong. Now, let me explain something to you. And you need to do some research. You really do, man. I'm telling you, man, the more you read, the more you know. Okay? And I've done a lot of reading in my life. To anybody that knows me who'll watch this might go, really? You read? Yes, motherfuckers, I read, okay? Now, the Civil War is probably one of my favorite subjects. Only because this is where all this racial turmoil started from, right? I bet y'all would be shocked to know, truth bomb, y'all be shocked to know that there are and the Smithsonian has them. I've seen pages from them. There are actually existing real life journal entries written by soldiers from the American Civil War on both sides in existence that you can read for yourself. Hell, Library of Congress has a bunch of them. And I took a trip to DC a few years ago and had some time to kill before doing what I was up there to do. So I went there, and I read a lot of shit. I spent a few hours up there. Did you know, just like any other soldier since the dawn of time, where war has been started and waged politically, there were soldiers on the Confederate side that they weren't fighting for the right to own a human being. They weren't even fighting to keep slavery. They were fighting because they were convinced it was the right thing to do for their state. Okay? You have to remember that most soldiers that go into battle, they only have a small bit of information. Okay? They're only told a little bit. Enough to get them involved and want to fight, and that's about it. The main reason, that whole bigger picture, no, they don't ever know it until it's either too late or they figure it out at some point. But there was a lot of Confederate soldiers. They did not believe in slavery, or owning other people. You know. Now I wasn't there, so again I can't really speak on why they decided to fight for the Confederacy. However, that being said, if you do your research, you'll find it. So not everything Confederate has to be bad, if you think about it. Go educate yourselves, learn some things, and then take a group of children, whether you're a teacher or not, take your own kids if you aren't a teacher, but take some kids to these monuments, to these statues, to these places like in my own town, the Market House, and educate them on the history of that. Especially something like the Market House, where it's a building where slaves were sold. Yes, and like I said at the beginning of this, slaves were sold there. However, that's not all it was used for. That's just that's just that minute thing that everybody wants to focus on to make this. Okay? I'm just saying, at some point, the new terminology amongst these millennials is woke. You gotta get woke. All I'm saying to people is get woke. Okay? Educate yourselves. Because once you educate yourselves, once you learn and you gain knowledge, it gives you power. And speaking on power, the last thing I'm going to say again is, please, don't sit there and be that person that bitches, moans, and complains about racial inequalities, and that's all you do. This, for me, is my outlet. This, for me, is my way of hopefully changing things. I'm 44 years old, and the older I get, the more I realize every day since the day we're born, we're on borrowed time. But the older we get, the more borrowed that time gets. And at some point, the debt collector's going to come calling. I would love to sit here and say that it would happen for sure, but all I can do is be hopeful and optimistic and have faith that just maybe, before my debt collector comes calling on that borrowed time, that just maybe we'll see an end to this shit. But the only way we could truly see an end to racism, it starts with us. Okay? It starts with those of us that get offended by words like Negro and nigger. It starts with those of us that get offended by those words, giving those who are saying it power. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm human. Ain't no human perfect. I don't give a fuck who you are. Okay? If your name ain't fucking Jesus Christ or Mary fucking Poppins, you're not fucking perfect. And even they were human beings. One was fictional, but even Jesus Christ was, I don't give a fuck, was a human being on some fucking level. And I'm pretty sure even he was not perfect. Again, I wasn't there, I don't know. But that's not neither near here. Again, that's a subject for a different occasion. All I'm saying is, we're humans. None of us are perfect. But, as imperfect as we are, we can still change things, starting with ourselves. Again, people that use racial slurs, let it go in one ear and out the other. It's white noise. It doesn't exist. The moment you let it exist, it gives it power. They're going to keep doing it. All right? Just like I said with a bully. The moment you stand up to a bully, they lose power because now they know if it's the type of bully that pushes people around, once you stand up to them and push back and they realize, well, shit, okay. What am I supposed to do now? Is usually the fucking response that you get from them. And they don't really say it. It's a look on their face. I've dealt with enough fucking bullies, okay? And trust me, especially after I moved down here from up north. Bullies that like name calling or trying to embarrass people and this, that, and another to get laughs from those around them. The moment you take that power away from them, they don't know what else to do. Just like with racists, you take the power by not letting it affect you or have any effect on you whatsoever. What the fuck are they going to do? Not a goddamn thing. There's nothing they can fucking do because that's all they've got for entertainment. And from a psychological standpoint, most people are fucking racist because A, they were raised to believe it. So it's a hatred thing. Yes, but hate is taught. It's not bred.
New message is received from 23621.
Like I said last week, I'm going to say it again like I said last time, I'm going to say it again this time. To prove that fact, my dad didn't raise me to hate anybody. First of all, I don't even like hating because hate is a poison. And once you allow that poison in your soul, there's no coming back, man. It just starts festering and festering and festering. If you don't catch it soon enough, then there's no coming back. However, hatred is taught, and my dad did not teach me to hate. Nobody that has ever had any influence on my upbringing whatsoever in my life has ever taught me to hate anybody. Now, I say this because there have been people that have had help in my upbringing, and I say that very loosely. But a lot of their beliefs, I would not, and I refuse to take on. I absolutely refuse to. I'm not going to hate on somebody because of the color of their goddamn skin. I'm not going to hate on somebody because of their sexual orientation or what country they fucking come from or any of that shit. If I hate on you, and like I said, I don't use the word hate. I don't like to hate. I will say this. If I despise you or if I don't like you, there is something about you. It has nothing to do with your color, where you come from, who you're fucking or married to. I don't give a shit about all that petty bullshit. If I don't like you, there is a character flaw about you that I don't like. Okay? And that's all I'm saying is stop hating fucking people for the color of their skin. Stop hating on fucking people for being ignorant. It's petty. The best way to battle hate is the same way you battle darkness. How do you beat darkness? You shed a little light on it. And the more light you shed on it, the more that darkness shrinks. It starts, receding and going away. And when it comes to people, when it comes to the words love and hate would be that darkness. Love would be the light. Bob Marley said it. You want to get rid of the hate, you gotta love more. The more people that love those that even hate on us for loving them, trust me, I swear, I truly believe if we were to all wake up tomorrow and just decide that we were going to stop hating people for the color of their skin, their financial status, what kind of car they drive, the petty shit, and we start loving those that hate on people like that, man, I'm telling you, if we all woke up tomorrow and started going, you know what? You're a racist motherfucker. You're wrong for being, you're wrong for thinking that way and saying they're throwing out racial slurs, but you know what? And don't say it to them in your mind. Go, you know what? Fuck you. Walk away. Something else my dad once taught me, and I didn't get it at the time because I was young, I was dumb, I was brash, I was arrogant, I was cocky, and I never got to tell him that before he died, is that I finally get it, And even after I had my own 2 kids, it still took me a while to get it. And it's hard for somebody like me who grew up, you got a problem with somebody, you beat the fucking problem out of them. Plain and simple, But even that, like I said, it gives them power, It's just, I'm not saying don't fight at all, ever, or don't open your mouth on something you see going on that's wrong. By all fucking means, that's another way we stop this. Is if you see something wrong or something going on that ain't right, I can say something, like, stop being so self-absorbed. You see a handicapped person being picked on, it's fucking wrong. Say, hey man, knock it the fuck off, leave them the hell alone. Alright? You hear somebody use a racial slur towards somebody else, go, yo man, why don't you take that noise and go somewhere else because ain't nobody listening? Do stand up for your fellow human beings. That's another reason this country and this world has gone to shit. Is because we stopped standing up for other people. We've started turning a blind eye and going, well, it's not affecting me personally. I don't know him. Fuck it. It's not my business. It's a fucking fellow human being. And that's the problem. You want to be seen and treated as a fucking human being. Well, lead by fucking example is all I'm saying. I can't tell you how many fucking times I spent in school suspension or suspended out of school. Hell, I almost got expelled from school for sticking up for people. But that's who I am. That's how I chose to live my life. I never fought nobody for me. I can honestly sit here and say that there's never been a time in my life where I have ever fought anybody because of something they said or did to me personally. Again, it's white fucking noise. I brushed it off and moved on with my life. I kept it pushing. But I will not and have never been the one to stand by and tolerate seeing women be beat on, handicapped people being fucking abused, neglected, mistreated properly, the old people mistreated properly, or people of color being fucking disrespected. Now, I know you said, well, don't say or do anything because it gives them power. No, I'm telling you, by you letting them see that it is getting to you personally, then they have power. It gives them power. Me responding, they didn't say it to me. It isn't affecting me whatsoever. Because again, to me, it's just white noise. But back to what I was saying at the beginning, where cops need to start standing up and doing the right thing and getting rid of this fucking imaginary blue line. People need to start doing the right thing. Okay? We just need to start loving each other more. That's all I have for now. But I will leave you with this. Please take the blinders off. If you see something wrong, speak up. Do something. If it's being done to you personally or being said to you personally, tune it the fuck out and keep it pushing. Outside of that, man, all I gotta say is just one love, baby. I got nothing but one love for everybody in this world. One love for anybody who watches this. I love y'all. Y'all my family. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, okay? But please, love somebody. And I don't mean somebody in your home or in your personal life. Love somebody. I'm challenging you all, anybody that sees this, pick one person, one, to start off with. One person a day, okay? And don't just rush it to get out the fucking way to say, okay, I love somebody today. All right? Don't walk out the house in the fucking morning to see your neighbor and go, hey, man, I love you. Pick one random fucking person that you have no idea who they are. One random person you don't fucking know. All right? Matter of fact, I'm going to even up that challenge. But here's the beginner level challenge. Pick one random person a day and just tell them, hey, man, I love you. You know that? You are a human being and you deserve to be loved. And leave it at that. Keep it pushing. Okay? Now, I'm going to up this challenge for those of you that love competition. Love a good challenge. Especially those of color. Pick a racist person. A random fucking racist person. Alright? Even if it's a Trump supporter, we all know most of them are racist anyway. Not saying all, because I know there's some people who might see this, who support Trump, and whatever your fucking reasons for that is, hey, those are yours, okay? Again, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong or you're right. I'm just saying, educate yourself. That's all I'm saying, okay? However, pick a racist person. This is that no bullshit challenge, okay? This ain't for the faint of heart. If you're a person of color, pick a racist person, no matter what they fucking say or do, walk up to them and say, hey, man, you know what? I just wanted to say I love you as a fellow human being, and you deserve to be loved unconditionally, and I love you unconditionally. And then just keep it pushing. Don't wait for them to respond. Just keep it pushing. Turn around, walk away, keep walking past them, whatever the fuck you was doing before you stopped, all right? That's all I'm saying. Pick one random fucking person, show them some love. And don't just say it to say it. I mean it from your heart. If you can't mean it from your heart, then don't fucking say it. Okay? But please, love each other. Be kind to each other. Because that's the only way we're going to stop all this bullshit. Now, for you brothers and sisters in blue, all I'm going to say is this. Stop being part of the team that keeps building the length of this blue line. Be a part of the team that does the right thing. You put on that badge. You stood up at some point, you raised your right hand, and you swore under oath to protect and serve your communities. Okay? All I'm saying is take that oath seriously for once in your fucking lives. Do the right thing. You know, if you see a cop doing wrong, nobody's above the law. Remember that. At that point, he's just a criminal with a badge. A badge he shouldn't have. Okay? Do something. Say something. Your communities... I'm trying to keep this light, not really get serious and dark at this moment, but it pisses me off. It really does. So, you know, me being me and living my best life, this is how I'm going to tell y'all. If you wear a badge and you swore to protect and serve your communities or your state or whatever the case may be, whatever level of law enforcement you have, but right now I'm speaking specifically to local level law enforcement officers. You swore under oath in front of God, your family, your training officers, everything, to protect and serve your fucking communities. So do it. Serve your communities by protecting them from those wearing the same fucking badge that are out there harming innocent fucking people. This is a very touchy subject for me, man. Because I'm tired of seeing good people go down because of bad cops. Okay? I've lost a few friends because of cops using excessive force. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of seeing good people that don't deserve to die. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say every suspect that a cop has ever used excessive excessive force on didn't deserve it. I mean, shit. If you got a cop with a gun pointed at your ass and you got a gun anywhere nearby you, I don't give a fuck if you're up to no good or not. I don't give a fuck if you got a rap sheet or you as holy as the fucking Pope. That motherfucker says, don't reach for that gun. Don't reach for that fucking gun. Again, getting a little off topic. Do away with the fucking blue line. Let these corrupt motherfuckers who want to put on a badge know that there is no place for you at the fucking table. Alright? You want to go out and commit fucking atrocities and shit, then you know what? Go out and be a hired fucking gun. You want to kill fucking innocent people for no fucking reason, go out and be a hired fucking gun. This way, when I come, and then this way you can, if it makes any sense to you, this way as a good cop, then you can think to yourself, now I can come for you and not have to worry about repercussions. Alright? But it's not that simple. It's not that black or white. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gray. And it's in that fucking gray area where these assholes that put on a badge and pretend to be cops, want to be fucking cops, fucking posers. It's in that gray area where they fucking operate because they know that there's officers around them that either see black or white. They don't focus on the fucking gray. And if they see something going on in the fucking gray, they don't ever say nothing about it. They don't do nothing about it. Why? Because the person working in the gray area has the same fucking badge or the same fucking uniform as the person who's operating in the black and white area. I don't care what the fuck cops label you. I promise you, if I was wearing a badge today and saw a cop using excessive force on an innocent person or doing something in doing anything, I mean anything that goes against the oath that we take as police officers, when we put that fucking badge on, then we need to fucking stand up and say something. Because that's what we swore to do. And I don't give a fuck if it's a fellow officer. If they're breaking the fucking law, they're a goddamn criminal that deserves to be in fucking handcuffs and behind fucking bars. Plain and fucking simple. There's no gray. There's no black and white. It's that fucking simple. If you are a goddamn cop and you are wearing a fucking badge and you see another cop doing something that is against the fucking law, do something. Fuck the blue line. Have some fucking balls for once in your life. You put on a badge and swore to protect and serve a bunch of fucking strangers, possibly get shot and died to protect your goddamn community, to protect people that you don't know on an everyday basis, but you won't speak up against a fucking fellow officer? Because you're afraid of what other cops are going to think of you? Fuck them. Those are the kind of cops that they either need to fall in line and decide that it is time to do the right thing because they put on that badge and they swore to do the right thing, or they are no better than the ones committing the crimes themselves. It's almost like if you drive somebody to a bank, they rob the fucking bank, they get in the car and you drive off with them in the car, right? As a cop, we all know, textbook accessory to armed robbery. All right? It doesn't matter if you knew as the driver that that's exactly what these motherfuckers were going to do or not. You know, I drive Lyft. And that would be like if I pulled up to a bank, a bunch of people came out, jumped into my car, I took off, not realizing at that exact moment when I picked them up, they had just robbed that fucking bank. It doesn't matter that I didn't know. I'm an accessory. I'm just as guilty as they are because I took them from the scene of the crime. So if you're a cop and you turn a blind eye, or you're a cop that turns their backs on their brothers and sisters in blue because that brother or sister in blue decided to speak up and turn in a cop who's no longer a cop but a criminal, you are not part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You are part of the fucking problem. You are no better than the cops themselves out there doing this shit. Our communities are crying out. They don't trust cops anymore. Now, those of you that are not cops that see this, all I'm going to say is, please, by all means, you wouldn't throw out a bag of apples just because one or two were spoiled, correct? The system isn't perfect. Not all cops are created equal. And I get that. I understand that, right? But please, this goes back to loving everybody. Don't hate the fucking cops. Don't group all cops together just because of the actions of a few. All right? Hell, you might live in a community where there isn't a single dirty cop to be had, but you hating on the motherfuckers because of cops that did something to somebody else in another fucking state thousands of miles away. I'm saying, trust your police officers. Please. Still give them the faith that they deserve, because there are those that wear that badge, that wear that uniform, that go out every day, day in and day out, put their lives on the line for you, somebody that they might not even know personally, have never fucking met in their lives, but would still take a bullet to protect you. Those are the cops. Those are cops that are having to fucking be hated on because their brothers and sisters in arms are doing the wrong things and pissing off the community. Now back to men and women in blue. Communities are crying out. If you're a good cop, I don't give a fuck about the blue line. I don't give a fuck about these unwritten and undocumented rules and ethics and shit amongst cops. If they are a dirty cop, if they are doing something wrong against the law that they swore to uphold and protect, they are fucking criminals. They deserve to have their badges stripped, your handcuffs put on them, put in the back of your fucking patrol car, and you walk them proudly into the goddamn fucking booking room. You stand up and you show other fucking cops, you know what? Think of me what you want, but I'm going to continue to put every last one of you motherfuckers behind bars my goddamn self, because that's the right thing to do. That's what I signed up for this job to do. Stop saying, well, I'm not going to fucking turn in a fellow cop. No, at the moment he or she decided to break the law, they stopped being a fucking cop. That is no longer a cop. It's a criminal in a fucking uniform. Can't put a fucking lion in sheep's clothing and still call it a goddamn sheep, can you? Do something. Communities are crying out. They're screaming. People no longer trust the fucking cops, man. The one group of people that everybody should feel comfortable trusting, because people in my generation, we're always taught, look, you're afraid, you're lost, you can't find your mom or dad, go find a cop. You can trust the cops. And that used to be what do we teach our kids now? How would you like future generations to view you if you wear a uniform? Fuck the future generations that you'll never probably ever meet face to face unless they're a fucking victim or a criminal. If you have kids, if you plan on having kids at some point and you're a cop, ask yourself, what do you want them to learn about the police? Because you're going to be sitting at home saying you can trust the cops. There's going to be other people out there going, hey, look at this video. You can't trust the cops. What do you want them to learn? More importantly, if you have kids or you plan on having kids and you every parent wants to be their kid or kid's hero. And when you do a job like being a police officer, it makes it that much fucking easier for your kid to look up at you and go, man, my mom and my dad, or my mom and dad are fucking heroes, man. And they go out there and they protect and serve my community. They help people they don't know. They do the right thing all the time. You want to be that mom or dad that has their kid bragging about you to everybody, but in the back of your mind you're going, you know it ain't you, because hell, you just saw a fucking cop the other day beat down somebody excessively for no fucking reason, and now you didn't say nothing. But your kid thinks you're a fucking hero. Your kid would be the only one thinking that of you, or your family that don't know what the hell's going on in your job. You ain't no fucking hero. Stop pretending you're a fucking hero because you wear a badge and a uniform and protect and serve your community. You're not truly protecting and serving anybody if you let criminals pretending to be cops continue to pretend. And that's all I'm saying. So again, I'm going to leave you with this. It's one love. Love everybody. Please be a positive change. Not only in your own lives, but in somebody else's, okay? Do right. Be right. Keep the faith. Please don't lose all faith in all cops. This is Brooklyn. Until next time.